What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, I want to speak on a statement that Nate McMillan made about LeBron James, right? And so so it says LeBron James has the highest basketball IQ I think I've ever seen on the floor. And that's high praise, right? Uh for anybody. But in my personal opinion, I haven't, he hasn't. LeBron James to me has not demonstrated the fact that that he has a high basketball IQ, and this just like people will say things in order to. I guess I don't know if he's kind of like pandering to LeBron but some of the decisions that LeBron James make on the court and off the court, in my opinion, are questionable. For instance, let's take on the court first, right? And especially for somebody when you think about somebody who is supposedly the GOAT, you'll see LeBron James turn the ball over and not hustle back. And I've never seen that, you don't see that from nobody. That's not like a high basketball IQ. People who are like very, very competitive, when you turn the ball over, they don't turn around and look at the ref and look and ask and expect a call. They hustle back because they know that a lot of times you don't get a call. The ref might let you play through that foul, or they may not see that foul. So even though Nate McMillan played for a long time and he had a successful college career, I even remember watching Nate McMillan when he played at NC State. I thought at NC State he was a very good player, and I think the team that drafted Nate McMillan is the was the Seattle SuperSonics. I think because I know he played a good chunk of his career in Seattle, right? And it was more, in my opinion, Nate McMillan was more of a role player. I thought he was a even during his playing days in the NBA, I thought Nate McMillan was a very intelligent ball player himself, right? And so for him to make a statement about somebody else's intelligence, I think he's a credible source. I will say that, you know what I mean, because he demonstrated, he hustled on defense, he made smart plays, um, and he gave the team what the team needed. Not, it wasn't about him; it was about the team. So I appreciated that about Nate McMillan's game. Watching him play. But this statement right here about LeBron James being like the smartest on court, to me, I just think that he Nate McMillan is basically just pandering because it's just not true. He made mistakes, like I said, in his career that really that the younger generation coming behind him, they're not making those mistakes, right? And one thing that intelligent people do, they watch what people like. They know the history of the game. So the people before them did something that worked or didn't work, and they don't, they'll use that history to their benefit, you know. But LeBron James didn't do that. He broke tradition, and when he broke tradition in basketball, that tradition really, in my opinion, it hurt his career, it hurt his legacy. So that goes into his basketball IQ, you know. And so once he, in my opinion, once he broke tradition. And let me give you an example of how LeBron James, on several cases, he broke tradition. Like the torch has been passed on to LeBron as far as like being great, but he didn't do anything in his career to really uplift the game. Like Magic uplifted the game, Bird uplifted the game, Mike uplifted the game, Isaiah, but LeBron didn't do that. Most of the decisions that LeBron made was about LeBron. His whole career was basically about player empowerment, right? And so it wasn't about the sport, elevating the sport. It wasn't about his team or his teammates. It was about LeBron, and you had LeBron had so many different teammates, uh, because he moved around a lot, which I don't think like moving around. Let's take that. Moving around a lot, right? E- In every facet of life, you have to have a solid home base in order for you to be successful, right? Every business has a base. Every player who ever played in the NBA, every franchise player had one team that that was their home base, and they succeeded there. They stayed there and they built and they overcame, and that's how they became you know the goats or the greats in the game. Anybody, take anybody. Like when you think of Isaiah Thomas, you think of the Detroit Pistons, because Isaiah Thomas spent his entire career at Detroit Pistons, and whatever came with that, the ups and downs that came with that loyalty to his city, you know what I mean? Like Detroit will always love Isaiah Thomas. When you think of and even in football, when you think of Walter Payton, you think of the Chicago Bears, because Walter Payton played he played his entire career with the Bears. Michael Jordan was with the Bulls, Larry Bird, the Celtics. And so why is that important? Because if you have a home base, then you don't have to constantly like keep on building a base and pouring a foundation and starting over. You don't have to do that, because the amount of time that you spend starting over, you could be building a, a successful franchise and building a dynasty. But you can't build a dynasty if you moving every 4 or 5 years. You can't build a home base. It's like starting over. And so that, in my opinion, that move right there by LeBron James, in my opinion, was just was not wise. And if you anybody who knows anything about winning, and if you know the history of basketball, you never seen a superstar basketball player that just went from team to team to team to team, because what you're basically doing is you're trying to reestablish a home base in different cities, and it's not easy. There's a learning curve. Like when LeBron James went to when he first left Cleveland, and LeBron James went to Miami. It was a learning curve. Like they didn't win, that championship right away. They went to 4 championships down there while he was in Miami. They went to 4 and won 2, right? So now he go to Cleveland. And again, now you have to reestablish a home base. And I think the first year in Cleveland, I don't think they won the his first year back in Cleveland, they didn't win. So now, that was more time lost. Whereas though he could have been in one city, enduring the ups and downs that comes with basketball, but always knowing that he had that foundation set and they're operating from there. But now you have to go somewhere else and reestablish another foundation. That wasn't bright. It wasn't like a high IQ move. And so when people like Nate McMillan accredit like LeBron James for having a high IQ, I guess got to push back on that. Definitely got to push back on that, because that statement, in my opinion, is just not is not accurate. It's misleading. And I like for people to like I said, coming from Nate McMillan, it almost sounds credible because of the career that he has, right? But you still, even though Nate McMillan, I thought, in my opinion, was a very good and a smart ball player, that statement right there just re um it just reminds me that people need to, no matter who the source is, you got to think for yourself. Because if you look at LeBron James' career and some of the decisions that he made, it's obvious that you know he didn't know the history of basketball, or even he didn't pay the history no mind. And either way, that's not a wasn't a wise move. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.